Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Frame Live. My name is Dottie San Martin, and I'll be your host this afternoon. Well, viewers, what business are you in? It just might not be the one you think you're in. Today, we have the pleasure of having the owner of the Savannah Bananas with us today. Jesse Cole, the owner of the Savannah Bananas, has developed a business so creative that the first thought that comes to my mind is, you just can't make this stuff up. You never know what you're going to see with the bananas. So Jesse is the founder of Fans First Entertainment, owner of the Savannah Bananas Coastal League baseball team, and author of Find Your Yellow Tux, How to Be Successful by Standing Out. You've got to look this up, folks. Jesse, welcome.
Excited to be with you, Dottie.
Thank you so much for being here today. Jesse's team has actually welcomed more than 1 million fans to their ballpark and have been featured in MSNBC, CNN, ESPN, and Entrepreneur Magazine. The Bananas have been awarded Organization of the Year, Entrepreneur of the Year, Business of the Year, and won the Coastal Plain League Championship in their first year. Fan First Entertainment's been featured on Inc. 5000 list as one of the fastest growing companies in America. His business practice is to have fun and do what you can to stand out in the world. Stop standing still and start standing out. You've really created a revolution in baseball, Jesse. You've took a game of a traditional game and you've just absolutely turned it upside down. And that's what we want to talk about today. Welcome to the show, Jesse.
Thanks a lot.
So Jesse, you, as I said, you just created this crazy revolution in baseball. And when I very first got introduced to you, my husband had seen something on ESPN about you. And of course he called because he's always thinking of how can we do this in bowling? He knows that that's the mindset that I have, is to constantly look how we can better bowling. And baseball and bowling really have a lot in common when you think about it. Very traditional sports, been around for years, but it also has an entertainment side of it. And that's what we're going to talk about today is your journey in baseball and how you really changed things when it came to what you experience when you go and watch a baseball game. So how did you get in? How did your journey start, Jesse?
Well, there was no plans of, creating a revolution or challenging all the rules. There was nothing like that at first. I was just trying to be able to, not go completely broke. The reality is that I started our first team when I was 23 years old, and I was a general manager of a baseball team. And the only way you get a job as a GM of a baseball team at 23 is if it's the worst team in the entire country. Like, that's the job I got offered. And there was only $268 in the bank account. We had 3 full-time employees. Payroll was on Friday, and we only had 200 fans coming to the games. And so I immediately realized that what we were doing in the past wasn't working, and we had to figure out a way, or I was going to be out of a job. I couldn't pay our employees, and what was I doing? And so fortunately, I ran into a lot of different books by Walt Disney and P.T. Barnum and started reading everything about entertainment and vision and show and fun and just creating something different. And you open this by saying, what business are you in, but what business are you really in? I realized that very quickly we were not in the baseball business. No one wanted to come to baseball games. Baseballs were long, slow, and boring. So how do we make it fun? And so we just started testing things. And this was 15 years ago. We didn't know what we were doing. Flatulence Fun Night was a disaster. Salute to Underwear Night, Dig to China Night, Grandma Beauty Pageants. We were just testing things. But the big key, what I realized, is I didn't want people to think of going to our games as going to a regular baseball game. And whether you're a bowling alley or whatever, something traditional, how do you get it? I'm not just going to the bowling alley. I'm going to something different. And so for 10 years, we experimented before we went to Savannah, and then failed again, even bigger than what we failed in Gastonia. And luckily, after some failures, we figured out a few things. And so that's where we are.
Wow. Well, and like you said, you didn't have success from the very beginning. It took a while to get where you were going. In fact, you took over the team in 2015. Am I correct? You
Yep.
purchased the Savannah Bananas, not the bananas at the time, but you purchased the bananas in 2015. And in the first few months, you had sold only a handful of tickets, right?
Two to be specific. Yes, yes, it was. That's how it was. It was, yeah. And we didn't buy the Savannah Bananas. We bought an expansion team to come to Savannah, Georgia. And
Oh,
so it was myself, my 31-year-old wife, or I was 31, she was 28, our 24-year-old president, and three 22-year-olds out of college. So we had a heck of a crew. The former team had cut the phone lines, cut the internet lines. We had nothing in the stadium. And we called everyone in the community and they said they weren't interested in working with us. So we sold 2 tickets in our first 3 months. By January 15th, 2016, I got the phone call, 4:45 p.m. that we'd overdrafted our account. And Emily turned to me and said, we have no other options. We have to sell our house. So just less than 6 years ago, we sold our house, emptied our savings account, and the little money we had, put it in the team, and we're sleeping on an airbed. And so, that was one of the best things that ever happened to us, because it made us really, anytime, I tore my shoulder in college and that ended my baseball career. And that got me the opportunity to work in with the first team. Anytime something really bad happens, I immediately now learn to pivot. Oh, something great's about to happen,
yes.
because you're forced to do something differently. Often when things are going well, we don't disrupt our thinking. We just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And before you're getting disrupted, you have to disrupt yourself. And so we had to say, we can't just try to fit in Savannah because we're the new guys in town. We have to go big, go different, and create fans in ways that no one else had. And that was the only way we thought we could succeed. And that's when we dramatically changed and went all in on the Banana Nanas, the senior citizen dance team, the male cheerleading team, the Mananas, the breakdancing coach, the Banana Pep Band, the Banana Baby playing in kilts, you name it, we tried it. And then all of a sudden people said, this is a kind of a phenomenon. This is different than what I've seen before. And that's when, now every game's sold out and the wait list is over 10,000 for tickets. And it's unbelievable.
Oh my goodness. Well, and it's very obvious, Jesse, that you believe, you are very passionate. Your passion radiates off of you. It's clear for people to see that you are very passionate about what you do. And as you said, you do things differently. I'm sure that every single promotion that you've come up with has not been successful out of the gate. But I also understand that it's very important to you to constantly gather feedback. You are always looking at the fan experience. And if I'm not mistaken, you actually kind of go undercover. You have someone from your staff go undercover for each game. You immerse them into that experience from the very beginning of that experience to the very end of that experience. And you use that to better that experience the next time. Am I right?
100%. And I do it as well. I every year, I take the yellow tux off and
I
fans
was going to say, you can't go incognito in that.
but it's harder. The first few years I was able to, but now if people hear me talking, they know my voice. So they're like, Jesse, what's Jesse doing dressed like, why is he in the stands? And I took 12 pages of notes this past year. Here's what I've learned. And, I don't believe in surveys. I don't believe in survey fans. I believe in watching fans, sitting with fans, being with fans, and observing fans. There's a different, Yogi Berra said it, you could observe a lot just by watching, which is hilarious. But the reality is we go undercover and we park with the fans. We walk in with the fans. We sit with the fans. We eat with the fans. And we are in that culture of the fans. What I think is most of the people, they get in a meeting and they say, all right, what are we going to do to bring in more revenue next quarter? What are we going to do to increase our sales? They're not thinking completely in the fan's shoes. The name of our company is Fans First. It forces us. If your company was named Fans First and you had to think about the fans in every decision you would make, you would immediately start changing the way that you do things, because that's how you create an experience that's remarkable. And that's what we're trying to do. And we do things like we eliminated all of our advertising from our whole stadium. We're the only team in the country that is dumb enough to throw away hundreds of thousands of dollars 2 weeks before the pandemic is announced in February 25th, 2020, because we realized that no fan comes to our ballpark and says, you know what, I'm coming to the Bananas so I can be advertised to. I hope someone markets to me today. I want to be promoted to today. But we're so bullish on that decision that we eliminated that and said, you know what, we have to be who we stand for. Like, we have to stand for something. And that's what we did. And that's why there's no ticket fees, no convenient fees, no shipping fees. Actually, before anyone buys merchandise from us, which fortunately has become a 7-figure business, we spend $9 to $10 on every fan. because there's free shipping always. We give a free koozie, a free decal, a custom yellow box, custom yellow tissue paper, everything before anyone even buys from us. Yeah, there you go. You know about that. Exactly. And I think that's because we're not thinking about how do we drive more revenue. We're thinking about how do we create more fans. And I would challenge anybody
Yes.
to start having that conversation. But you're not going to get short-term results. It's going to hurt for a little bit.
And you know, Jesse, speaking of that, I want to say, I wanted to experience it myself. I was impressed at the attention to detail that was paid to my simple order. It came in, like you said, a bright yellow box that was an eye catcher. And then when I opened it up, it was more than what I had expected, which was great. But it was also nice that the confirmation email that was written confirming the order, there was every little attention. The wording was absolutely spot on. And even a follow-up call, making sure that the merchandise arrived in time. Those are the details that blew me away. So the experience, even outside the ballpark, that you're delivering is just as phenomenal as the experience you're delivering in the ballpark.
Well, thank you. And we were bad at this. Our first shipment of t-shirts came in when we named the team, and there were too many N's in bananas. We literally misspelled bananas. All right. And we were shipping all over the country and over the world. We had no idea what we were doing. Excel sheets. We were trying to bring all the orders to the post office, but you start learning. And I think when you think about every interaction, every touch point is an opportunity to create a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we just let them go. I mean, even invoices. We changed our invoices this year to make them more ridiculous. I mean, we have a whole ridiculous thing, and I could go through it, but every single opportunity is an opportunity to create a fan. So we don't take our emails for granted. Don't take our voicemails for granted. Don't take our hold music for granted. Because if people say that, like, wow, these guys are different. They care enough to make their voicemail, Savannah, na, na, na. You've reached the Savannah Bananas, na, na, na. Like, wow, these guys are different. And that's what I think anybody can do. It just takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, but I'll tell you, it's worth it.
Absolutely. So Jesse, you know, creating the fan experience that you have, we talked a little bit about this before the show about, you know, the employees and the employees having to have fun. You know, that's what we stress in the bowling entertainment industry, is that, you know, that has to start. Your employees have to be a part of that experience. They have to have fun. And it's very obvious that the banana culture starts internally. That fan experience starts by your staff having that same experience as an employee. And I believe that your wife is really instrumental in helping with the employees and really getting that culture that you have going on right now. What is her role?
She's the heart of the team. I'm the crazy guy, the attention getter, the yellow tux, and the guy that tells stories and has fun. But she's the heart. And I'll give you an example. After that first season, now again, 6 months prior, we were on an airbed and very few dollars. And after that first season, we were still coming out of it. We went from zero debt to $1.8 million in debt. So we finished that first season. It was a great first season, but it was our first really good season. And she turns to me where we were working out in a gym, and she goes, "Hey, Danny really played a huge role in everything we did this year. Danny fought for a job. We weren't hiring. We didn't have money. And he fought for a job. And he's like, all right, we'll give you a chance." And he worked his butt off and helped raise $70,000 for local nonprofits, helped sell out our games, did a great job. He's like, we got to do something for Danny. And I remember vividly it was the Indians. He's from Cleveland. And the Indians were making a run in the playoffs. And they were about to go to the World Series. And Emily said, if the Indians go to the World Series, we have to do something special. And Danny and his dad, they had one bond, and it was the Indians. Like, that was their big bond. Like, when Danny was a kid, he's from Cleveland up there. He would literally watch the World Series games, him and his dad, everything. We're like, what if we send him and his dad to the World Series? And so Emily had this idea. She came to me, and I said, let's do it. And it was game one of the World Series against the Cubs. Was not a cheap ticket. It was very expensive. We didn't necessarily have lots of excess cash, but Emily said, this is the right thing to do. And so we got a toy airplane, and I remember it so vividly to this day. We had a staff meeting the next day, and we brought everyone together and said, hey, Danny, we want to do something for you. We said, so we have a little gift for you for everything you've done this season. And he opens the gift, and it's a toy airplane. And I said, Danny, this represents how far you've gone with us, how you're taking everyone with us. And I said, he goes, oh, thanks, man. I go, oh yeah, one more thing. we're flying you tomorrow morning. You're going to game 1 of the World Series. You're going with your dad. And he said, shut up. And we go, no, really, dear. And we called his dad, and his dad started crying. And him and Danny were the first people in line for game 1 of the World Series. And that's something that there's no dollar, there's no so since that first day, that's become a part of our culture. Our fans first director, Marie, who started us as a 22-year-old, we knew that her bucket list trip was Ireland. So we sent her and her dad to go to Ireland for a week. We surprised our team with a trip to Disney where we all went. They could bring their spouses, significant others. We've continued to do, behind this VIP tickets to Kiss for one of our people that loved Kiss and behind the scenes. And so we ask our people what matters to them. Literally, when we're even in the interview process, before they're even hired, we know all these things that matter to them. And we're just building up this knowledge of how do we create a fans first moment for them. And Andy Stanley said it best: do for one what you wish you could do for many. And that's how we treat our biggest fans, our team, our people, our staff.
And, especially right now, and certainly I hope that our viewers, their wheels are turning in their heads right now. Coming out of the pandemic, it has been a challenge keeping employees and getting employees, keeping them motivated. And so, this can certainly be something to look at of ways that you can give back to your employees. And especially, when they're short staffed and they're having to go over and above the call of duty just to keep the doors open of some of these centers, finding ways that you can do exactly what you've done for your employees goes a long ways. And I'm sure that your employees will never forget what you've provided.
And I'll challenge you. Everyone says, give back, give back. Just give without wanting anything in return. And I think that's the biggest, here's our fans first playbook that we have. And we go through fans first you with our entire team on everything. And on the back is a quote, something I guess I said 5-6 years ago. I say a lot these days, but I said, be patient in what you want for yourself, but be impatient in how much you give to others.
Oh, nice.
If you can do that, if you could take that mindset and have impatient in the results and the actions that you're going to give to other people, it's just a game changer. And that's what we've started doing. And that's why we eliminate sponsor. That's why we eliminate shipping fees and ticket fees and convenient fees. And that's why we spend outrageously on special moments for our team, because, it's worth it in the end. We'll remember those moments. We remember moments more than just cash and money and just things that, it's the moments, it's the experiences. So that's what we focus on.
And there's so many things that you have done that are just absolutely, they're unique. They're things that people would not dream of seeing at a baseball game. And I would venture to say that you have some of the, traditional minded baseball purists that have to kind of scratch their head and wonder, what has the response been from the purist?
Every year we lose baseball purists. Every year we'll have a couple season ticket holders that say it's become too much of a circus. Okay. Every year. And I'm okay with that.
I was just going to say, and that's okay, because look how many more are coming as a result of it being that way.
Everyone knows, here's who's my target demographic. The better target demographic is, who are you not for? Are you positioned enough to say, I am going to put my foot in the sand and say, this is who I am not for? Because everyone tries to be everything to everyone so many times. We're going to try this. I'm like, no, we are not for baseball purists. It is a circus. We have players come up to bat in stilts. We play games in kilts. We give away porta-johns and colon cleansings. We have breakdancing coaches. We literally have drones going during the game and players mic'd up. It's a circus. And I remember this vividly. A woman wrote a six-page scathing blog about how bad our experience was. And it was about, it's like a Willy Wonka infused circus. The music's always playing. It's like a constant party. And I shared it. I was like, this is exactly what we want people to say. Like, she was saying it all in negative. I'm like, that was our review of the week on our podcast. Because my point is, you have to be that strong in who you are and what you stand for, that you will get criticized. Yeah, I think
that's okay.
If you're not
getting, please everybody all the time. Nor should you try.
If I would challenge whoever's listening and bowling alleys, if you're not getting criticized a little bit, you're playing it too safe. And that's hard to say. But the reality is we're just trying to float by. Hey, we're a good bowling alley. We do this. Like, do something a little different that people will criticize. Our Dolce and Banana underwear, when we came out with that, people were like, what are you doing? We sell hundreds of them a year. People buy our underwear with a banana on the crotch. It makes no sense, but it's fun. It's unique. And I think you got to take chances. And I believe in it firmly. And I know some people will say that's not for me, and that's okay, but it's worked pretty well for us.
It has worked very well for you. You know, the other thing that you do quite differently is the ticket price is all inclusive, which is unheard of. Was that a little scary in the beginning to go that route?
Everything we do is this. It's like I have a 3-year-old son, and he was terrified of the trampoline park. We literally stood in the lobby just looking at the trampolines for 30 minutes. Then he sat on a trampoline for 30 minutes until he finally stood up with me, and I just held his hands. And then finally we started just to move a little bit, and now he owns the trampoline park. Like, this is his trampoline park. Like, he just does everything. It's always scary at first. So like, if you're doing something you've never done before, of course it's going to be scary. We had no idea if it was going to work. And there's a reason. There's not one team in the entire country that every ticket is all inclusive. You can't come to Savannah and go to a Bananas game and not get all your burgers, your hot dogs, your chicken sandwiches, your soda, your water, your popcorn, your dessert free for $20. And that includes free parking. That includes no ticket fees, no convenience fees. It's everything. The first night, Dottie, it was such a failure. We did it. And of course, it was the worst. It was embarrassing. But if you're not embarrassed by something, the first time you do it, you waited too long. So like, literally the first time we did it, well, fans rushed in the field because it was pouring rain. So we were in a rain delay. Our players were in green uniforms because it was opening day and they weren't quite ripe. So the team actually played terrible. We made like 5-6 errors. People rushed the stadium, and there were 4,000 fans because our first night sold out. Like, fortunately, the rest of them did, but they rushed to the food. We should assume that, but we had no model to follow. Who are we going to look at that's done all you can eat? So we had what we thought would be a right amount of food. We were wrong, way wrong. They went through 10,000 pieces of meat in the first hour.
Oh, so my.
We assumed we'd have 4,000, one for each fan. The lines took literally 2 hours for people to get food. It was the worst experience you could ever imagine.
So what did you do?
Well, I mean, sure, we talked, but we couldn't not do it. We sold all the tickets as all you can eat. There was no option not to do it. So we watched and we took notes that first night. Why isn't it working? We started watching, why didn't it work? And our concession staff said, well, people were taking more than one sandwich. And they're like, well, that's fans first. And it was like, what were they doing? They would grab 2 sandwiches, 3 sandwiches at once. And then they just walk over and then they'd try to get a drink. And so we said, well, what if we position the drinks first? And they put a drink in their hand, then they can't take as many burgers and hot dogs. They can still come back, but they're not going to come back and go after your line. So we moved drinks first. Then we added another full station. So when line got too big, we said, go to the other station. We said, we'll just add another station. Okay. And each game, we started adding new things and watching the fans. We didn't do surveys. What are the fans going to tell us? No one has experience on this. We just watched and watched and watched. And now 4,000 fans, every person in our ballpark can get fed within 5 minutes at any time.
Oh, wow.
But that's 6 years later. My point is we were forced to do the long game. One team called us and said, we're going to do all you can eat. And they did it for a few games and they canceled. It was too hard. It didn't work. They couldn't get through the messy to get to the good. And that's what we try to do. You got to always get through the messy, because once you get through it, you're going to find the good.
That's right. That's right. And that determination, it goes back to that determination in the beginning that you weren't going to give up. You were going to see this through. You were fully invested in this and you were going to make a go of it. I think that goes with the decisions that you make. You continue to work with that decision and evolve that process until you've perfected it, and you just, keep with it. Don't give up. That's not an option.
And I'll challenge you, Dottie, we will never perfect it. I love, obviously, I'm looking here at a custom poster of Walt Disney. I got Walt all over my entire office here. And he always said Disneyland is a living and breathing thing. It'll never be complete. We will never be perfect. And if we ever get too close to perfect, that means we haven't been testing and pushing the boundaries enough. So what I love is I love our inability to be perfect. And what I love about that is our fans give us the benefit of the doubt. When we did a halftime show in the middle of a baseball game and pulled everyone off the field, which you're not supposed to do, and we had a Savannah pipe and drum band, which was for St. Patrick's Day. And they were all in their 60s and 70s. And it took them about 5 minutes to actually get to the field and on the field. And everyone was sitting there waiting for this halftime show. Fans were laughing. Fans said it was one of the funniest things they've seen because it was the slowest halftime show in the world. They gave us the benefit of the doubt because they knew we were trying something else. Whereas if you're so focused on perfection, then you're going to miss the joy of how you're going to improve and get better. And that's what I enjoy. I hate it. It hurts when something doesn't go as well as planned. But I said, all right, well, what's our next at bat? How are we going to plus it, as Walt Disney would say? How are we going to plus this promotion next time?
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, Jesse, you guys I just can't wait. I'm not in that area very often, but if I am, I'm going to get on your waiting list and I'm going to get a ticket because I just, you guys have really got a great thing going. And the people in that area are so lucky to have you in Savannah.
Well, that's very kind.
And now's a great time to be in the entertainment world. We have seen, coming out of a pandemic, people just want to forget all of that. Let's just move on with this. Let's just realize that tomorrow is not guaranteed. Let's enjoy what we have right now. Let's have a good time. So it's a fantastic time to be in the entertainment business. And I just hope that our viewers are as inspired by you as I am. As I said earlier, I was so excited to have you on the show. It was almost like I was waiting for Christmas Day. So I'm really happy to have you as our guest today. Is there anything, Jesse, in closing that you would like to, any words of wisdom or pieces of advice? You have filled the entire show with, I'm sure our viewers have pages and pages of notes that they've taken, but any closing remarks you would like to leave us with?
Well, I think I've danced around it a lot, but I think we all should just go back with your team if you're listening and be a part of it and say, what can we do to create more fans? And start focusing on long-term fans over short-term profits. And I think if we start having more of those conversations, I know whenever I ask someone about what are they a fan of, they light up, they get excited. Because when you're a fan of something, you have that energy because they show up, they're always there for you. They bring the excitement, they bring new things, you're thinking about them, they're always delivering. Go create some fans. So stand out, be different, have some fun, and go create some fans and start having those conversations. And I think your entire business and the joy that you and your team have will be better than you ever imagined.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, Jesse, I almost forgot. I did make a promise that I was going to give away an autographed copy of your book. And since I didn't remind people at the beginning of the show, I'm going to do it now. If you are watching this show, if you will leave a comment and just let me know what has inspired you the most, or just say hi to Jesse, just leave me a comment and I am going to make sure that you get a copy of Jesse's book, autographed no less. So viewers, thank you very much for joining us today. We have another show planned for November the 4th. We're going to have Barbara Flynn, the president of People First, to be on the frame. And we're going to chat about ways to combat staff shortages and the ongoing importance of safety and compliance, and kind of how to build that culture that will attract talent that you need to have a successful business. So make plans to join us on November the 4th at 3 o'clock Eastern time for that show. Jesse, thank you so much. It has certainly been my pleasure to have you as our guest today. And viewers, I hope that you will follow the Savannah Bananas, because you never know what's coming next for them. Nothing will surprise me that you guys do, Jesse. It's so fun to watch and follow your journey. And I wish you many, many, many more years of wonderful experiences with your fans.
Thank you so much.
Until next time, viewers, thank you for joining us this afternoon. And we'll see you next time on Beyond the Frame.